6 Texting Secrets Women Can't Resist. Stoicism. Old Stoic Wisdom. Imagine this. You text a woman and she's hooked. She can't stop thinking about you, her curiosity is piqued, her emotions are engaged, and suddenly you're the guy she's chasing. Now, imagine the opposite. You send a text and nothing. No reply, just silence. Frustrating, isn't it? Here's the truth. Most men make one critical mistake when texting women they chase. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to lose her interest. But what if I told you there's a way to flip the script? A way to make her intrigued, invested, even addicted to talking to you. In this video, I'll reveal 3 powerful texting secrets rooted in Stoic philosophy and female psychology that women simply can't resist. Stick around, because secret number 3 is the one that creates an emotional bond she won't forget. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And no, hey, what's up? Is not one of them. All right, let's get into it. 1. The power of delayed gratification. When it comes to texting women, most guys make a critical mistake, responding too quickly. She sends a message, and before you know it, you're texting back within seconds, thinking you're being polite or showing interest. But what you're actually doing is revealing one thing: you're too available. And when you're too available, you take away all the mystery, the allure, and the challenge that women naturally crave. Women are wired to be drawn to uncertainty and curiosity. It's not about playing games. It's about creating a dynamic where they want to know more about you. A man who isn't always immediately available, who has his own life and priorities, sparks that curiosity. Why hasn't he replied yet? Is he busy? Is he with someone else? The moment she starts wondering about you, she starts thinking about you. And when she's thinking about you, she's invested. This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The same principle applies here. The quality of your interactions in the realm of texting determines how deep her attraction goes. A Stoic man doesn't react impulsively to every message. He doesn't let emotions drive his actions. He remains in control of himself and his circumstances. When you adopt this mindset and control your texting habits, she will feel that power, that calm confidence, and she'll find it irresistible. So instead of rushing to reply, take your time. Let the message sit for a bit, not as a tactic, but as a demonstration that you have a full life beyond your phone. Women want to know that you have things going on, that you're not just waiting for their next text. They're attracted to the idea of a man who has the power to choose when to respond, rather than being at the mercy of his phone. Think of this like a fine steak. You don't rush it through the cooking process. You let it rest so it becomes tender, juicy, and flavorful. If you serve it too quickly, you lose that perfect taste. Attraction is the same way. If you serve yourself up too fast, you'll lose that unique, irresistible flavor. But let's address a concern that might come up. What if she starts to lose interest? What if she thinks you don't care? This is a legitimate fear, but the truth is, if she's genuinely interested, she'll respect your time and your boundaries. However, this brings us to the next important principle, which I'll explain in secret number 2. The key is understanding the balance between giving her space and showing enough attention to keep her engaged without chasing her. Keep in mind that the power of delayed gratification is essential. It builds anticipation, it builds curiosity, and it builds attraction. By not rushing in with immediate responses, you create a sense of mystery that makes her eager for your next move. You've all heard the phrase, "good things come to those who wait." Well, in relationships, that's exactly how attraction works. Be a man who isn't quick to react, but who responds with purpose and control. And trust me, she'll notice. So take a step back, embrace your inner Stoic, and let the connection unfold at its own pace. If you found this insight helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever tried delaying your response and noticed a change in her interest? Let's talk about it. 2. the controlled unpredictability technique. In the realm of relationships, one timeless truth remains. Women are drawn to men who keep them intrigued, who don't fit into the predictable mold of everyday routine. It's easy for many men to fall into a texting routine, sending the same bland "good morning" or "how's your day" messages day after day. But here's the truth you need to understand. When your communication becomes predictable, you become dull. Predictability is the silent killer of attraction. The moment she knows exactly what you're going to say, when you're going to say it, and how the conversation will unfold, she's already lost interest. She's already read the script, and the excitement has faded. But here's the secret. Attraction thrives on controlled unpredictability. Now, I'm not suggesting you should be aloof, playing games or being emotionally unavailable. That's not the goal. The key is to strike a balance. Keep her guessing, keep her on her toes. When you're constantly available, she'll start to take your attention for granted. If you're too distant, she might think you've lost interest. The trick is to keep her curious, to create a sense of surprise that makes her eager to hear from you. You can do this by breaking away from the monotony. Don't just fall into the habit of responding immediately every time. Some days, reply quickly, showing your interest and enthusiasm. On others, take your time, letting her wonder about you. One day, text her with playful teasing. The next, be cool and aloof. Keep her guessing about your intentions, your schedule, your mindset. You can even introduce a new element, like sending a voice note instead of just texting. Let her hear the confidence in your tone. If you go a few hours without replying, don't worry, it won't seem like you're ignoring her. Instead, when you do reach out, do it with something unexpected, a random comment, a joke, a deep thought. You'll notice something amazing happens. It does two things instantly. First, it sparks curiosity. She'll be thinking, what did he see that made him think of me? Why hasn't he replied? That moment of uncertainty will get her mind racing, and that's exactly what you want. Second, it adds a lightness and humour to the conversation, ensuring that even though there's mystery, the vibe remains fun and engaging. And this, in turn, hijacks her thoughts, creating emotional investment. When a woman starts wondering about you, she's not just thinking about you on a surface level, she's emotionally engaged. And when she's emotionally engaged, she's invested in the connection. Now it's important to note that this isn't about how often you text her. It's about how you make her feel when you do. Texting is not a numbers game. It's an emotional one. You don't need to flood her inbox to keep her interested. What matters is that when you do communicate, it sparks something inside her. She should feel something, not just hear words on a screen. Here's a crucial insight. If you're the only one initiating conversations, something's off. It's easy to fall into the trap of always being the one to text first. But that's not how attraction works. Women invest in men who bring excitement to their lives, not in men who are always available with their hands out. If she's never the one to start the conversation, never the one to chase after you, you're not as important to her as you might think. Remember, she's not just looking for a man who will always be around, she's looking for someone who brings intrigue, someone who can make her feel something beyond just casual conversation. So, when you master the art of controlled unpredictability, you won't just be another option, you'll be the man she can't stop thinking about. Keep her wondering, keep her engaged, and watch the attraction grow. If you found this advice helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Comment below to remind yourself. Controlled unpredictability keeps her intrigued and emotionally invested. 3. The emotional hook technique. Men, listen up, because this is where most of you are falling short. You believe that texting with logic, updating her, checking in, or asking those routine questions will create attraction. But let me tell you this, attraction isn't about what you say, it's about how you make her feel. That's the undeniable truth. Women are drawn to the emotions you trigger, not the facts you present. When you send texts that are simply updates or polite check-ins, You're offering nothing for her to connect with emotionally. And without that emotional connection, you're just another guy on her phone, nothing special, nothing memorable. To change that, to stand out in her mind, to trigger a response that isn't just a simple acknowledgement, you need to tap into something much deeper: storytelling. And I'm not talking about the casual stories that are boring and dry. I'm talking about creating vivid, emotional experiences that pull her in, that make her feel something. You see, our brains are wired for stories. From the cavemen's tales around the fire to today's movies and books, stories connect us on a fundamental level. And when you send her a text that is not just about facts, but about a shared experience, you're engaging her emotions, and more importantly, her mind. Here's an example. Instead of texting, "I had a great day," which is weak and uninspiring, why not say, "You won't believe what happened today. I met an 80-year-old man who shared the most unexpected piece of life advice with me. His words completely changed my perspective." Notice what happens here. Suddenly, her mind is racing. What advice? Who was this man? What happened next? She's no longer just reading your text. She's living it with you, feeling what you felt in that moment. That is the hook. That is what triggers the emotional response you're looking for. You may be thinking, but that's just a simple story. Well, let me remind you of this. In the great words of Aristotle, the aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. Your words, your stories, they need to carry meaning. They need to draw her in emotionally. When you do this, when you can trigger her emotions over a simple text, you've gone from being just another name in her inbox to someone unforgettable. And here's the thing. When you start doing this consistently, when you start triggering emotions with your words, she will open up to you in a way that's different. The guard will drop, the walls will come down, and you, my friend, will have become more than a stranger, more than someone she texts from time to time. You'll become someone she looks forward to hearing from. She'll start to anticipate your messages, and before long, she'll be the one sending texts to you, eager to share her own stories. This, gentlemen, is where the magic happens. It's not about checking in or giving updates. It's about making her feel something through your words. So next time you text her, think about the emotion you want to trigger. Think about the experience you want to create. Remember, attraction is not built on logic. It's built on emotion. And with the emotional hook technique, you're not just sending a text, you're creating a connection that will keep her thinking about you long after she's put her phone down. As I've said before, this isn't about being another guy in her inbox. It's about becoming someone she can't stop thinking about. So start using the emotional hook technique today. Start telling stories. Start making her feel. Watch how everything changes. If this resonates with you, comment below and share your thoughts. Let me know how you plan on using this technique to level up your texting game. Secret number 4. The power of self-respect. One of the most compelling qualities a man can possess is self-respect. This is not just a matter of self-esteem, but the underlying belief that you are worthy of the best that life has to offer. And this belief emanates from you, creating a magnetic energy that draws others toward you. Now, let's connect this principle to the world of texting. It's much simpler than it sounds. Respecting yourself is vital, and it extends to your behavior in all aspects of life, including your communication with others. When you value yourself, you do not diminish your worth by chasing after her replies or begging for attention. A man who is confident in his own worth will never find himself stuck in a loop of incessantly texting her just to get a response. Instead, he approaches the interaction with confidence, fully aware that his time is valuable just as hers is. This mindset is directly linked to your level of self-respect. When you carry yourself in this way, women find you naturally more attractive. It's not about seeking validation through every text sent. It's about engaging because you genuinely want to connect. That's the difference between neediness and authentic communication. One is rooted in desperation, and the other in genuine interest and self-assurance. As the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When your thoughts are grounded in self-respect, your actions will naturally align and your energy will shift from seeking validation to simply creating meaningful interactions. Furthermore, the Stoic principles of self-control and emotional resilience also apply here. In Stoicism, we are taught that the ability to control our desires and impulses is essential for achieving true freedom. It's about not being swayed by external circumstances, including the waiting game of texting. By practicing emotional control in your texting habits, you signal to her that you are not ruled by impulses, but by your thoughtful actions. This emotional discipline makes you more appealing because it shows that you are a man who values his time and mental space. Women are drawn to men who can stand firm in their emotions, someone who doesn't fall into the trap of desperation. When it comes to texting, a man who respects himself does not chase after responses. He communicates with purpose and confidence, never settling for less than the genuine connection he desires. This approach speaks volumes, demonstrating strength and control, a fundamental principle in Stoicism. To put it simply, do not chase after the outcome. Let things unfold naturally and avoid becoming consumed by a need to fill the silence with constant messages. This is not only an attractive way to communicate, but also a pathway to cultivating true self-respect. Real-life situations often test our ability to maintain our self-respect, especially when we're eager to hear from someone we care about. But remember, self-respect doesn't mean shutting off emotions. It means mastering them. The next time you send a text, ask yourself, am I texting because I want to connect, or because I'm looking for validation? By asking this question, you take control of your actions and ensure that you approach every interaction from a place of strength. So, I challenge you to reflect on how you approach texting and communication in your relationships. Are you doing it out of neediness, or are you approaching it with the strength that comes from knowing your worth? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. I'd love to hear how you practice self-respect in your relationships. If you've made it this far, you're already embracing the power of self-respect, a quality that will elevate every part of your life. Don't let the cycle of neediness control you. Step into your strength and authenticity. Comment below to affirm, I approach communication with purpose, knowing my worth. Secret number 5, the power of strategic vulnerability. It might seem surprising at first, but one of the most impactful things you can do when texting a woman is to embrace vulnerability, strategically, of course. Now, vulnerability doesn't mean laying bare every single emotion or sharing every hardship you've experienced. It doesn't mean unloading your emotional baggage onto her or becoming a source of constant complaining. Instead, it's about showing that you are a real, multifaceted person, someone with thoughts, feelings, and experiences that extend beyond the surface. It's the art of letting her see that you have depth, that you are human, just like everyone else. In fact, in Stoic philosophy, the idea that one should be completely invulnerable emotionally is a bit of a misconception. Stoics do not deny their emotions. Rather, they strive to understand them and have the discipline to control them. It's the acceptance of emotions, not the rejection of them, that leads to emotional resilience. This mindset is crucial when it comes to connecting with others, especially through something as seemingly simple as texting. When you practice strategic vulnerability, you're not showing weakness, you're demonstrating strength. It's about being confident enough in who you are to share moments of struggle or introspection, allowing her to see the real, imperfect side of you. This transparency fosters trust, because it shows that you're not trying to present yourself as a flawless, untouchable figure. Instead, you're inviting her into your world, letting her know that you're someone who faces challenges, just like anyone else. A powerful way to demonstrate this is through a simple text. For example, instead of sending a message that just says, "I'm doing great," try something like, "I had a tough day at work today, but I got through it by focusing on what matters most." This shows a level of vulnerability without being overly dramatic or self-pitying. You're acknowledging a struggle, but you're also showing how you overcame it, giving insight into your mindset. It's this balance of strength and vulnerability that is so compelling to women. Strategic vulnerability doesn't mean you need to be open about every emotional aspect of your life all the time, nor does it mean you have to be perfect. It means you are strong enough to admit that you are not always at your best, and that's okay. This authenticity is something many people find deeply appealing. It fosters genuine connection. In a world where many people, especially in the dating scene, try to project an image of invincibility and perfection, showing that you can be real and imperfect can set you apart. It's a reminder that relationships are built not on perfection, but on understanding, respect, and the willingness to be open with one another. The trick, of course, is finding that balance, allowing yourself to be vulnerable without feeling like you're exposing too much too soon. By demonstrating emotional strength through vulnerability, you show that you're emotionally intelligent and capable of creating deep, meaningful connections. And that, my friend, is something no woman can resist. In today's fast-paced digital world, where most conversations happen through texts, finding ways to connect on a deeper level is more important than ever. It's easy to fall into the trap of superficial conversations or avoid vulnerability altogether, especially when it feels like emotional exposure could make you seem weak. But the truth is, it's the opposite. The more genuine and real you can be, the more likely you are to foster a lasting connection. Don't be afraid to show your authentic self. It's this rawness, this willingness to open up and be honest, that creates an unshakable bond. So when texting her, don't be afraid to show the side of you that isn't perfect. In fact, that's exactly what will make you unforgettable. Secret number 6, the art of playful teasing. Men, listen up. If you want to master the art of attraction, you must understand this secret. And let me tell you, it's powerful. Teasing is an exceptional tool, but only when wielded with finesse and wisdom. It's about creating a dynamic that's fun, light-hearted, and free from the shackles of seriousness. Think about it. Women crave laughter, joy, and spontaneity. They want a man who can make them smile, who doesn't treat every interaction with a burden of intensity, and who can keep things lively and playful. As Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "A cheerful mind is the beginning of all good things." Humour, lightness, and the ability to tease playfully are essential in maintaining balance and perspective in life and in relationships. By not taking yourself too seriously, you exude confidence, an attractive trait that will draw women to you. When you can make her laugh at herself, when you can make her feel good without making her feel small, you've unlocked the secret to building trust and comfort. For instance, if she shares something a little embarrassing, instead of making her feel self-conscious, tease her in a way that makes her laugh, like, "Well, now you've got me hooked. What's next? I'm collecting your embarrassing stories for a future dinner party." Notice how this playful, nonchalant response not only builds rapport, but also signals your own confidence. You're showing her that you don't take life too seriously, and that creates an inviting space for her to relax and open up. This approach is grounded in Stoic wisdom, taking a step back from emotional turbulence and finding humour even in the mundane. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you can maintain a light-hearted view of life, it affects everything, including your interactions. Remember, the key here is never to cross the line into meanness. Teasing must always be fun, never cruel or demeaning. If you can playfully tease without making her feel bad, you'll establish a bond that's rooted in confidence, humour, and mutual respect. So remember this. The goal is to keep the mood light, maintain an atmosphere of fun, and foster an interaction that feels easy and enjoyable. This is the secret to making her want to spend more time with you. Don't just take my word for it. Test it out. A playful spirit will open doors, and you'll notice how effortlessly attraction builds when you let go of unnecessary seriousness. Now, take action. Start teasing with confidence and share this wisdom with your brothers. Like, comment, and subscribe to take your journey to the next level. What's the one thing you've teased about recently that made her smile? Drop it in the comments now. Don't let seriousness rob you of the joy and laughter that can build attraction. Comment below to share. I bring light-hearted fun and confidence into every interaction. Bonus tip: amplifying emotional investment. If you want to take her emotional investment to the next level, there's a simple yet powerful technique you can use: unfinished stories. Imagine this. Instead of giving her all the details in one go, you leave a cliffhanger. A perfect example is, something happened today that made me rethink everything about relationships, but I'll tell you more later. Now, you've got her attention. She's on the edge of her seat, wondering what could have possibly made you rethink everything. She needs to know the rest. The more curious she becomes, the more emotionally invested she'll be in the conversation. It's a technique that taps into human nature. People hate uncertainty, but they're drawn to it when it involves something that sparks their emotions. As the famous writer and philosopher Aristotle once said, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." Curiosity fuels that desire for knowledge, and in this case, it fuels the desire to know more about you. But, as important as texting is for sparking interest, it's merely the initial spark. To truly convert that spark into lasting attraction, you have to recognize when it's time to move beyond texting and into something more tangible. Texting should be the spark that ignites a connection, but to turn that connection into a real, meaningful relationship, you must take action in the real world. This is where most men go wrong. They fail to make the transition from virtual attraction to physical connection. The art of conversation, both in text and in person, is about creating desire. It's about making her feel intrigued and invested enough to want to see where things can go beyond the screen. So now you know the 3 texting secrets women can't resist. First, delay gratification to spark curiosity. Second, keep the mystery alive with unfinished stories. And third, master these and she won't just reply, she'll wait for your texts. If you've tried any of these strategies or have other tips to share, drop a comment below. Let's get a conversation going about how these techniques have worked for you. But here's the real challenge. Are you ready to use them? If you found this video valuable, give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you want more content like this. Want to dive deeper into understanding female psychology? Subscribe now so you never miss an insightful breakdown. Before you go, drop a comment. What's the worst text you've ever sent to a woman? Let's compare some war stories. And remember, text with purpose, stay sharp and stay confident. Thank you for watching. Got any thoughts or feedback? Feel free to drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions and discuss anything you'd like to know more about. Remember, Stoicism is about mastering yourself, so take this knowledge and put it into action. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep moving forward.